So today, this is the day that I'm waiting for whenever I'm doing a project as big and as extensive as the full color change, full paint job on the Hellcat Miata. Today is paint day. It's a little gloomy outside, but we're still gonna be hype on this video.
And now, you're watching the Orange Fanta Fago and Crush channel. Wait, bro, this is paint? Perfect. Oh, this is paint. Welcome to Bodevision.
Hey, so what is up, guys, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on another video. So like I said, today is the day. The entire Miata is gonna be painted. We got everything laid out and ready to go. House of color, everything. I could have bought 2 pairs of Yeezys by the time we bought all this house of color stuff, but that's all good. So what we have going on, the car masked off, everything is ready to go. And I actually have some special help on this video. I'm gonna have my buddy from down south, Acura Painter. He's gonna give me a hand. We're gonna tag team this project. And I think he's pulling up now. Dang, man. 2019 TLX A-Spec. Dang, dude, that's what I gotta get into. So I told him to park kind of over here because overspray is always a factor, and that car is nice, dude. What's up, man? How was the drive?
Oh, finally, I made it, man. Hey, it was a nice drive. A little rainy coming up, but I'm telling you, right here it's beautiful right now. A little bit muggy, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to being here. How you doing? All right?
Good. Yeah, man.
Good,
yeah.
good.
How long is that drive? Pembroke Pines, like 3.
Pembroke Pines, 3.5 hours. But when it's nighttime, when you leave early, there's no one on the road. You could just cruise and relax, man. So it's really nice to be out here and you know, get started working on this project, man.
Yeah, man, that's super cool. So for those of you guys who are not familiar with Acura Painter, he does this professionally. Give them some of your accolades, if you will.
I started off in the garage just like Bodie, and that's why I'm here, because I love this. You know, I love just to be in that little shop life by yourself. Started to get a little bit better at what I was doing, and I'm professionally working out at the Acura dealership down south. We do collision, and we do a little bit of work to some classic Acuras and Hondas. So I just want to come here and support Bodie. I get the channel going right now. It's not as good as Bodie. I got Acura Painter, and then some stickers and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm just trying.
And I'll put all that here. Let's go check out the car. I'm gonna put all your info in the description below too, so that way I encourage you guys to go check out his channel. What is some, like, you work on some of the high end stuff? Like I saw you did
yeah, we do a lot of work for Lexus. We do a lot of work.
Well, you did an NSX recently.
We did an
right?
NSX.
Yeah, I saw
doing
that.
the trim and all that stuff. Some of the older, but you got something here that's super cool. Yeah. That I want to be a part of. So
yeah,
I appreciate the invite, man. How you doing here?
Man, dude, I'm good. I think we're ready to go.
This looks good, man. This looks cool, man.
So, if you guys are unfamiliar with my channel, the main reason why I wanted him to come on is because we've been trying to get together for a little while now, and what better project to work on than this Hellcat Miata. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna get some exposure, and it's gonna be a fun time. So the main way that this is gonna go, I'm gonna help him spray, he's gonna help me spray. We're just working together on this one. Yeah, exactly.
That's it, man.
So what do we gotta do next? What do you think?
So the process now, I see you've got it sanded about a 600 grit.
Yep.
Okay, so from here, what we're gonna do is we're going to clean this car. We have 2 steps. We're going to use a water-based wax and grease remover, and that's going to remove my oils from my hand if I just had KFC this morning, or if I if I had a hash brown. That's going to remove the oils from taping. And then we're going to use a solvent-based wax and grease remover. And what that's going to do is that's going to take away any of the oils, maybe from the guys working on the car. Going to take all those off, and then we're going to be pretty much ready to paint. Tack, I'm going to show you a stack gun that I've got that's going to remove any static and get for a nice clean finish in this boot. So.
Yeah, cool. The blow-off valve from the compressor is crazy. So what a lot of you guys might not know is everything that I do, everything that you have seen thus far, or if you're not familiar with my channel, I'm just winging it 100% of the time. So it's really cool to get some advice and some insight from a guy who does this professionally. So
you don't need a paint booth to get a nice paint job.
We'll see how this comes out. So without talking anymore, let's get into wiping it down, and then we'll figure out what's next. So so the car is looking really good. We're looking about ready to go. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna do what you see. The fenders, the car, everything that's sitting right here like this. We're gonna paint it this way. And then later on, once this is done, we're gonna get the car out of here. And then we're gonna paint all this stuff. We got the back bumper, front bumper, and hood. And then also the little door handle. Do we wanna do the door handles now? We'll figure it out.
The door handles, I like the way you have them mounted. I've never seen anyone mount anything like that. That's awesome. I want to paint them after the fact. That way, just in case they don't have any dirt or anything like that coming down.
And then match will be fine. We're just going to keep track of our coats and then...
Yeah, it would be good. I want to make sure the color's consistent.
Right, and I see one more thing right here we're going to have to tape, and then we'll look over the car one more time, get everything ready to go, and then tell me about your neutralizer. Okay?
Alright, so what the neutralizer basically is as we're wiping down that panel, we're creating static, and static is going to attract dust and whatever's flying through the air. So this sends a charge of some sort. Don't quote me, I'm not 100% sure scientific way, but it pretty much neutralizes the panel, takes away all the static. So now when we have our tack rack going over, we have very, very minimal dust. So that's the plan, that's the hope. Minimize the dust, minimize the buffing, keep it going.
Yeah, man, and it's really cool for me to work with him because he has all kinds of new toys, and by the time he leaves here, I'm gonna need to pull out a loan because I'm gonna want to buy all this new cool stuff to help us out in the end. Alright, so this is that white base coat. It's a base coat or it's a sealer, right? You'd say either or. It's pretty much the same. Yeah. But it's a white base foundation for that Tangelo orange to go on top of. So the way that we ended up working it out is I went ahead and I did the first coat, and he did the second coat, so that way we can kind of see if my gun's dialed in. He wanted to give his opinion on everything. And how was it? We made a couple changes on the gun.
We opened up the fluid a little bit and we brought the pressure down. So now we're atomizing a little bit better and putting more actual fluid on the panel and not in the air.
So that's one thing that I was doing before. I had my pressure up a little bit too high, but as you've seen, my stuff comes out good. But one of the main reasons why I wanted him to come over here is because whenever I have a real technical question or just anything paint-wise, it's really nice to have a professional that's in the game. You know what I mean? So,
if you want to call me a professional, you should see my amount of redos.
But it happens to all of us. So the next thing. This is the cool part, this is the fun part. We want to get into this orange. So we have House of Color Tangelo orange, and this just comes from the factory pack. See, House of Color is really known for their candies and getting real crazy with the lowrider paint jobs and that aspect of the car community. They're really known for that type of stuff. So if you can see right here, this is just the Tangelo, and if you can see the pearls really dancing, I mean, this is a beautiful color. It doesn't require any candy, any kind of crazy mixing. This is pre-mixed and ready to go. So what we're gonna wanna do, mix this up. We're gonna use our medium reducer, get everything mixed up, and then I guess that's it. We're gonna spray it, see how it goes. we're looking pretty good. And now if you notice, it's gonna look very thin right now because the first coat, we're just kind of introducing the base coat to that sealer. So if it looks a little funny, like a little thin, it's supposed to. That's just how the first coat goes, and we're gonna do an additional 2 more coats, or that's what you say.
Yeah, we're gonna check for coverage. We'll turn the lights off. We'll check to see if we can see through.
Okay,
orange, red, blue, they're all translucent colors. Okay. So they require the right ground coat.
Right. And now one of the main things that you guys may have noticed between the way that we were actually laying down the base coat is I actually went panel by panel and he walked the entire car. I want you to give a little bit more detail on panel by panel versus doing the entire car.
Yeah, and we did that for a reason so that we can show you guys that you can do it either way you want. Now, if you're gonna walk it out, okay, you have to make sure you're consistent. Walking out will give you probably a better turnout on a metallic paint job. Not so much this color, but what you're gonna do when walk it out is you have to make sure that you have all your edges good, and then the most important thing is you gotta look out for your hose, because that will trip you. And you're staying consistent along the whole panel. Now, you can do it that way, or you can do panel by panel, like Bodie did. If you're gonna do panel by panel, which is perfectly fine, you have to make sure that you step out your product about 6 inches past your gaps. This is gonna avoid a buildup on your edges, which is known as picture framing. And you're really gonna see it in your clear coat, and it is a really fat, ugly edge on the gaps.
Yeah, for sure. So that's really cool. I think next coat, coat number 2, I'm gonna go ahead and give walking the entire car a shot, because if that's what the professionals do, that's what I want to do.
And give it a try. It might be for you. It might not. I started to do it more recently. Okay. I didn't always do it like that.
Because it does make more sense to me to walk the entire panel as opposed to every time you stop and start from first one to the next panel or the next door. Exactly.
Keep the wet edge. Yep.
Cool. So this is going really well. It's really cool to work with somebody else at the shop as opposed to me doing everything.
Not by yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome. So we're just gonna get you set up, and then we'll go for coat number 2 and coat number 3, and then it's time for clear coat.
Perfect.
Alright, so now we're 2 coats of base coat into it, and overall the second coat definitely looks a lot better than the first coat. Sprayed a little wetter, and now what we're gonna do,
we're gonna hit up the third coat. It's actually gonna be a coat and a half, and the way that we're gonna do that is I'm really gonna lay it on wet as the final coat. I'm gonna keep a tight overlap, about 90% overlap, and what that's gonna do is keep it super wet, and I'm gonna do panel by panel, and after all the panels are super wet, I'm gonna come back, turn down my pressure a little bit, and do an orientation coat. And that orientation coat is gonna land in wet base coat, so it's gonna be nice and smooth. And what the orientation coat does is it helps it stay away from mottle, and it gives it a nice uniform look. So when it's out in the sun, it doesn't look like a zebra and you're not at the zoo. So I'm gonna show you that now.
And that orientation coat, that's really important when you're doing colors that are heavy metallic or different paint like that. If you're just doing like a standard white or a standard red that doesn't have a lot of different metallics or flakes into it, you don't necessarily have to do this orientation coat, right? That's just mainly for, the orientation coat is mainly for heavy metallics.
Pearls, metallics, all that stuff.
Right.
This has got a pearl into it, and I can see how it wants to model a little bit. Right. So we're gonna go ahead and play it safe, because we want this car to look beautiful when it's all done.
Last coat, let's do it! So as you can see, he adjusted the pressure from the first coat to the second coat. Everything looked really good. That orientation coat, he backed up quite a bit. We're ready to go for the sun. So we have concluded the base coat. There's not going to be any more base coat on there. We ended up doing 3.5 coats, that last orientation coat. That's something really good for me to learn how to do because I've never known about that before, and that's really good and really cool that I learned that. So the car right now, it looks really flat. That's because it's a base coat. So now the thing that's going to make that not look flat is the clear coat. So we're going to do 2 coats of clear, see how it goes, maybe do a 3rd coat. We're just going to have to see how it is. So I guess this is the moment of truth. This is where it all comes down to, and that's it, right? Clear coat time.
Well, we got a different gun though, so we're gonna see what it does. You know.
See, usually I'm using my base coat gun because it's budget build everything over here. I usually use my base coat gun for primer, base coat, clear coat. I'll usually use the same gun for everything. So we're gonna see how that new gun goes. And man, I've been looking forward to this. Dude, this looks good, dude. I mean, I could not be more happy with this. It looks freaking awesome. Good quality stuff, that good quality clear house of color. For never working with it before, it looks really good. Now, I don't know if you gathered it from those last couple of clips that you just saw, but there's not one area of this car that we didn't both touch.
That's a great collab.
Yeah, definitely. It's really cool that I could just pass the gun over and you can take it, and that's awesome. And then I did base coat on this side, then he carried it over, and then we did the reverse on the clear coat, and we did more coats than what we actually showed you. So what did we end up with? We went 3 coats of base.
So we did 3.5 of base.
Right, that's 3.5. Yeah, that last half is what I forgot.
Last half is the orientation. That's why when you look at this car, everything looks just the perfect pattern. There's all splotchiness. It all matches. So we let that cure. And then we brought in the clear coat. Now, we checked out the technical data sheet, and on there it says that we can put 1 medium coat followed by 2 heavier coats. So that's exactly what we did, and we can get away with it with this particular clear because it's medium solids.
Right. Now, I think I'm used to working with a high solids clear, so usually I'm used to it looking a little better after that first go round. But what he explained to me is that the first coat is always, especially with a medium solid.
Yeah, it's not going to look great. Your first coat, you're going to want to connect those dots. Each coat gets a little bit better. Guys just say, I put 10 coats of clear on that car. It's a myth. No one puts 10 coats of clear on anything with high solids. 2 coats of clear, you do more of that,
high solids,
and you can't. That's the materials are made in such a way to only do 2. So this is 3 coats. It looks beautiful. It really, really does. I mean, things usually look a lot better on camera, but I'm telling you, I'm looking at this and it is smooth. And in minimal buff, we knew we were gonna have to buff, right?
Right.
That's part of every job. but we've limited it, and it just has great clarity. It's not pinching. It's smooth. It's got a nice texture. This car is going to look amazing. I know you're going to go ahead and finish up all the rest of those parts.
And when the roof, not the roof, what am I talking about? When the hood goes on and that orange and I got that black trim, dude, it's going to look.
I almost think I'm going to come back up to see it. You know?
You're going to have to. I mean, dude, it is. And dude, I'm so glad that you came out.
Yeah, man.
I learned a bunch, definitely. And then, in your opinion, for me, just not doing anything, you think I could hang kind of?
I think you can hang. I think I'm not going to even stay to do the rest of the parts because I'm going to set you free now because you know what to do. We're going to follow the same exact pattern and texture, and all those parts are going to match just right.
Yes,
you know, and
definitely.
they're going to be perfect. I'm happy with this. It's a cool project to collab on.
Yeah,
and I can't wait to see the rest of it when it's all assembled.
And I think the thing that I learned the most is that when I'm doing a project like this, sometimes I need to just slow down a little bit.
Slow down, man. Slow down and speed up.
Right, because we got here at 9, and everything that we did is what you saw, and it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's just to show you. And I was honestly expecting that we were going to do the car and then the other miscellaneous pieces today, but I would rather slow down, have it come out really good, work together.
Listen, you've been working on this car for 1 week plus, whatever.
Right.
All the time in the world you're going to have on here. All people are going to see in the end is the end product.
Yep.
Okay, so take your time, make sure it comes out right. That's what we need to do here, just to make sure it's as perfect as we can do it. You know, anything you see, they'll buff out. That's what they make sandpaper and buffing compound for. It's all part of the game.
And it just looks so, I mean,
I
could just keep looking at it and keep going, and man, I can't wait to see it with the wheels on, with the hood on, with everything together. And it also looks so much better just to have the windshield makes it look so much better. Seeing that nice clean line, yeah, that's the big boy right there. So, cool, man. Well, I guess we're gonna send you on your way.
I'm gonna get back to sunny South Florida.
Yep.
You know, I got a nice little drive ahead of me.
Right, and your channel is in the description.
Yeah, Acura Painter. Go over there. Go and check it out. I'm a little bit more on the technical side because I'm a paint geek or nerd. So if you want to go over there and see some stuff, it's more collision wise. We got some cool projects. Right. Acura Honda Classic over there.
You guys, I would definitely recommend it. Yeah. And one thing that you do that I really like is he'll take a project, and sometimes it's days and days and days and days, but you bring us through the entire project within one video.
I usually take the one video and that's it. Put everything together.
So you get the car in, break it down, body work, get it in the booth, do everything, put the car together. So in one video, you see
everything start to finish. You know, that's the way. It's like having volumes, like chapters. That's it.
And that's a very digestible thing to watch, as opposed to what I'm doing, where I'm doing this and that video. But this is a little bit different. Exactly. So that's really cool. Well, man, thank you so much for coming out.
No problem, man.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing the video. I look forward to seeing everything else.
Yep.
Big time subscriber. Love what you do. That's why I'm here right now.
Much, brother.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
All right, Pop.
So huge thanks again to Acura Painter. Go over there, check out his channel, like his stuff, let him know that you saw him on Bodevision and you want to stick around. So with as long as this video is so far, with as much footage as we did and as much footage as we have, and how the car looks right now, I think it looks awesome. So in the next video, the next thing that I have going on is I'm gonna paint everything else. Car's looking awesome. So we got the little door handles, and I also got the mirrors, and then the hood, front bumper, back bumper, and that's everything that we have. So that'll be in the next video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff. You know what it is, YouTube. Check out the merch. I'm out.